Hello and welcome to the Magic the Blabbering podcast. This is your host, Nick, with host Josh, speaking for host Josh, and we're going to go over Lord of the Rings Costco bundles, Magic's 2025 Magic Con schedule, and some nostalgia set reviews like Lorwyn and maybe some creative formats that we want to talk about. Um, so let's first get into it. Hey Josh, say hi.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, so we're ready to get in, and I wanted to get stuck in. We this week found out about some of the Lord of the Rings bundles that are coming to Costco for about $60. You can order them online, and at this time, it looks like most of them are out of stock. It looks like Riders of Rohan and um, Lord of the Rings Food and Fellowship are both out of stock on their website, at least locally, and Elven Council is still in stock here locally. But as far as I'm aware, most of these decks are coming to Texas and California from when I visited the stores trying to find some of the previous decks, the March of the Machine
So,
decks.
so did you find any of the March of the Machine decks? Because I have, I saw them at my Costco, and I was there like a week ago, and they reduced the price to $30 for the.
Really? You were able to find
Mhm.
them?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I'm gonna
So,
have to ask you exactly where later on. But
so
I
yeah.
went
So
and they searched it up. Yeah.
I think it was like last month I went and because I've been seeing them online for quite a while, seeing the March of the Machine bundles. So I went. It was like a month, probably a month ago, and maybe more. And I saw them there. I did a video about it on Instagram, talking about which ones you should buy. The Calvary Charge one, it was like free infinite money. This was the same time as the Citibank thing where people were putting checks in the ATMs and withdrawing all the cash. And
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, so I made a Instagram reel about the actually yeah, so I made an Instagram reel about the Costco bundles, about how they were just like pure values. Well, the Cavalry Charge one, anyways. So I did. They were at my local Costco, and then I went back. It was like last week. I went back, and yeah, they had the price down to 29 something, 29.70 something for the
Wow.
bundle. So yeah, yeah. I mean, it's crazy value. So it, if you do want to know where they are, I'll tell you. But
Yeah, you'll have to
they
tell
are
me
they are
then.
in, they are in the Kansas City metro area. So
Okay.
I've seen them with my own
They
two
lied to
eyes.
me.
Yeah,
I went to one of the KC Metro ones and I said, look it up online. You see these like we got none. So that
yeah.
just might be a customer service fail on my part, but
So
yeah, being able to get them at your local stores is really going to be amazing if you can get your hands on them. Looks like they're selling out quick and with price drops like that, they actually become a little bit more lucrative.
well when I went back last week, they still had the Calvary Charge. They had probably had half the pallet left. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, so
Wow,
I,
okay.
when the Lord of the Rings ones actually hit the stores, um, they may be around a while. I don't know. I'm definitely going to buy one because I pulled apart the Abzan one to build a commander deck for my fiance. So I want to
Mhm.
get that one so I have that complete because I have all the theme decks together right now. So yeah, so I just want to get that one. What are the promos in that set now? There's four of them, right? Four promos.
In the Cavalry Charge or the new
No, in
one?
the Lord of the Rings one.
Oh, in Lord of the Rings, we've got a Gandalf that makes things have flash. Uh, Gollum. Hold on, I'm trying to zoom. Here we go. Uh, Gandalf the White, Frodo, determined hero, Gollum, scheming guide, and the Balrog, Flame of Udin. I think I'm saying that right. But yeah, those are the four promos you get, along with two Lord of the Rings
Set
Universes
boosters.
Beyond set
Yeah.
boosters, which is uh and to me, I'm looking at these decks, and if you're just a player, you want to play, I say go for it. This is a really good bar of entry. You get a lot of staple lands for your commander decks, or at least a few. You get some staple removal spells, search spells, things. If you're new to Magic, these are some pretty good decks to pick up. And if you like Lord of the Rings or want a
Yeah.
biodome of Lord of the Rings, this is kind of a good starting point.
Yeah, I think this is for, people that like Lord of the Rings and weren't able to get the decks, at a good price. I think the first time around.
Yeah, and I'm happy they're kind of. I feel like we're on a last wave with some of the newer sets having some struggles to get commander decks out there in volume so that the prices are kind of lower or more available. I feel like this is the end of the previous era where we're just rich for commander decks and we're getting some late stage products out there like Bloomborough and more recent Duskmourn decks where they have some high leading price decks where these sets were highly printed, heavily printed, and now we're still getting more flush out from the market. Looking over the deck list, though, it looks like Riders of Rohan of the new one has probably the most valuable single cards inside of it, that being Door of Destinies. So if you're looking for any sort of reselling potential on this, I would say I'd probably steer away from it. But if you're here for playing and having a good time, you're not going to get these decks for free. You go buy them, you're gonna get your value. But if you're planning on getting any return, it's not going to be there for these decks. There's no individual singles. Now I haven't seen if I was unable to find if Costco had the Sauron deck on sale. Um, but there are a couple notables.
Yeah,
The Elven
I was
Council
on
deck
Reddit.
has.
I was
Go
on
ahead.
Reddit and saw that they did have the Sauron deck and online, and it was gone. And I don't know if they took it off the website or what the deal is with it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure where that is, if it stocked out or what exactly. But I'm not seeing it on the website at this moment. But I am looking through these decks, and Elven Council actually being the one that I can see in stock locally, has a couple hits. You got Heroic Intervention and Swan Song with unique art, both over $10, and paired and Raise the Palisade, a great sweeper for your commander decks over 10. So honestly, even though I would say this isn't the style of deck that is blowing your games out of the water, this one has the most value in terms of singles. So if this ever goes on sale for $30, it's virtually free.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's Lord of the Rings too, so like I think they're not going to reprint these exact cards ever again, right?
They'd have to if or whenever we revisit Lord of the Rings, they'd have to come back to these same cards, same mechanics, and I don't know if we're gonna go over these same mechanics again.
Like
They might want to stand out.
they're never going to print a One Ring in a different set. I think in the future we're going to have to get like a Secret Lair or something to get the One Ring, a reprint of it. So I think these Lord of
Yeah.
the Rings cards, most of them are just one and done. And so if there's some cards that are Lord of the Rings cards that are in these decks, this might be your last chance to get some of them.
At least for a reasonable price,
Yeah, for sure.
because they need to have some motivation to reprint anything in these. So some of your fringe playable or middle tier cards getting their reprint might not happen. So they might become $5, $10 cards just from scarcity. And if you want to be on theme, maybe they'll go up. But yeah, One Ring isn't coming back unless we have some weird Masters Universe Beyond set or Secret Lair, as you said. So we have no idea when that's coming. I mean, modern players are going to need a reprint. How they're going to do it, I don't know.
You just said universes beyond Masters, and
Yeah,
oh man, I'm dying inside right now because I think that's gonna be a thing.
yeah.
Oh
Gotta
my
match your
gosh.
Lord of the Rings with your Transformers,
Oh man.
you know, Walking Dead, get all jumbled up. It's happening. It'll happen.
So we
Well,
had
this is
March of the Machine, right, and then Lord of the Rings. What's so they're quite a ways back, like trying to fire sale this stuff through Costco, right? So
yeah.
I mean, because what's the set after Lord of the Rings? Uh, it's Wilds of Eldraine. So do you think
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
believe so,
see?
yeah.
You think we'll see Wilds of Eldraine here in a few months?
More like their decks and stuff like that, like
Like, do you think we'll
in
see the Costco bundles for Wilds of Eldraine here? Maybe like the beginning of next summer.
It's not impossible, but they had already had some Amazon deals on those decks to sell them pretty low.
Yeah.
So it's really just depends on where their inventory, their physical inventory is, because you can kind of see, kind of like there's some speculation with the Festival in a Box being the emptying of some of their leftover product, collectors, boosters of
Oh
Rivals
yeah.
Ixalan, or
Yeah.
Ixalan and
Wilds of
um,
Eldraine.
yeah, yeah, and all those were there.
Yeah.
So I just think we're just getting a mishmash of some giant warehouses or collective of warehouses in certain places that need to empty their inventory. And when those churns happen, that's when we get these type of deals. If they've if they're stable in their marketplace and the way they're doing things, this will be regular. We will get dumps, we will get things like this. But with the behavior right now, with the limited supply out the gate, under hitting the um, demand is what I'm feeling more from more current sets. I
Hmm.
don't know if that's going to continue, but for anything previous, yeah, I could still see us pumping out, pumping out, pumping out till it's totally gone.
Yeah.
So March is getting pumped. So all of last year, I think the last 2 years are probably, I mean, it was an onslaught of the Innistrad sets for a long time. So if you're complaining that you didn't get enough of your werewolves and vampires, you had your chance. You had more
Yeah.
than your chance to get them. And Innistrad Remastered next year. So you're good.
And they blew out those Crimson Vow set boosters. Like they were 60 some bucks a box, like around Black Friday last year. And I mean the boxes are pretty much worthless right now.
Yeah. Just not a popular. I don't know if it's oversupply on that product or just not a popular set
I
or not
think
popular
I
time.
think it was maybe a perfect storm of both. But I do think they overprinted a lot of those sets. Crimson Vow. Well, also those sets didn't have very many good cards in them. Like
Right.
Crimson Vow. Would you have? Or Midnight Hunt? You had Meat Hook Massacre. You had
Yep.
Ren and Six or Ren and Seven.
Hmm.
What I mean, I don't know. Other cards in that
Yeah.
set that are worth over $1, really. So
Um,
I think that
yeah.
has a
No,
lot
there
to do
wasn't a
with
lot
it.
of the big thing for me. Magic kind of pivoted to a few. Magic's always had like a spike card, right? Over the years, you have
Hmm.
your Gideon from Battle for Zendikar. You have your Sarkhan from Khans of Tarkir, or your chase few cards. But what's better for sets, in my opinion, is when the the value spread amongst the cards and not all
Yeah.
conglomerated to one. Personally, now if you're a reseller, it might be better to have it all conglomerated to a few cards, maybe three or four. But when it's solid to one, like Midnight Hunt was, I believe, with Marine Massacre, you start getting some weird distortions where, wow, I can't get this box, but I can buy a box and flip a coin to see if, or like, roll a 33 sided die, 33%. What am I trying to say? A triangular die, maybe? No, that's four sides. Anyway, I'm bad at this.
No, if you have a
You
triangular,
roll the dice.
yeah,
That's four.
it's just like a Shieldred too in Dominaria United. Like that card's
Exactly.
60, 70 bucks, and all the rest of the cards are $1.
Yeah.
So
The, and I'm just looking back because I remember there was a time, a short time towards the end of the rotation in standard for those sets where the slow lands, is that what we're calling these lands, that like they're untapped past turn two. Those lands were all like a lot of them, handfuls of them were like $20, um, and just hard to get. And now you're starting to see like, okay, Meat Hook's 54. You have Toxrill coming in second at
oh yeah,
15.
I forgot about
$15
Toxrill,
per unique art.
and
Cultivator Colossus,
that's only
12.
because of Commander.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. You got some $10 lands, Shattered Sanctum, full art, It's mostly the lands. Necro Duality, Renin 7, Adeline. When Chandra Dressed to Kill's in there, I assume that's a format like Pioneer holding that up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a great example of sets that are just like in a weird spot. The single cards aren't really driving it, and then you just have the lands, and you need lands to play, so it kind of gets in that weird tug of war. But that's kind of how Magic used to be. It was the five lands or
Mm-hmm.
so in the set really drove the price.
Or a
Then you had a
Mutavault.
handful of mythics or Mutavault. Yeah, Yep. And then that was kind of normal, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We get weird distortions where I remember you could pick up boxes for like 50 bucks or less of those sets. And, it was tempting to just try to roll your money until you can get your Meat Hook Massacre.
Yeah.
I'm
So
actually still sad with Dustmorn that Meat Hook Massacre 2 has arrived and I still haven't gotten Meat Hook Massacre number 1.
yeah, me neither. I didn't buy any of the Crimson Vow stuff, the Midnight Hunt. I I just did a YouTube video about me quitting Magic, and that was the time period that I quit. So I really don't have any of those cards. But so
I'm
what we're
also
saying,
upset because I love werewolves, super into werewolves. I think it's a cool thing. I don't think the way they're represented in Magic is cool. I think it's parasitic, and I just
yeah,
want some cool werewolves I can put in my deck. Wolfear Silverheart, one of my favorite cards of all time. Uh, doesn't have to do the Moon Day night thing all the time.
right,
So,
yeah.
but
So what we're saying is go to Costco, check your local Costco. $30 Commander bundle. You get a Commander Masters booster pack. You get a Bloomburrow booster pack. You get a March of the Machine booster pack. A couple promos, and you get a full Commander deck. I mean, you can't really get a Commander deck for less than $30, and I mean, it's just
no, that one's a no-brainer. Yeah, you get
yeah,
Commander Master set booster, play booster for Bloomburrow, set booster for March of the Machine, two promos, a promo
hmm
of Johnny and a promo of Jace. Old, but still fun.
yeah.
And you get actually value decks. Like all these decks have from March of the Machines have cards in them, so go get them.
The promos were
Um,
just odd choices for me.
they're just
Like,
out of the blue. I don't know why
yeah.
they chose.
So the Lord of the Rings one, I think, looks pretty cool, and like I said, I'm gonna pick up one of those if they show up at my Costco. If they do, I'll let you know which Costco, Nick. So
Yeah, definitely do. I'd love to hear about that. I'm gonna be there as soon as I find out.
so you were talking
All
about
right.
the festival in a box, and they were trying to unload the old collector boosters and stuff. But did you see the announcement about Magicons? So
No.
next year, three Magicons. The first one is February in Chicago, which was an interesting choice to me because they just did February in Chicago this year. Then June is Vegas, and then
Hmm.
the end of September is Atlanta. And
Okay.
they don't have a European Magicon on the books. It did there, so there was an email that went out. There was a cute little video with Fibblethip on it that they posted on all their social media stuff. But at the end of the email, it said, "We will see you soon in Europe." So I don't know if they're planning one for next year or if they're planning one for 2025 or what the deal is. But I'm super pumped about more Magicons. If they want to do four a
Yeah.
year, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, tell me about it. So I haven't actually been to a convention. I think I went to some of the first uh modern what are they called? GPs. Went to a
Yeah.
few of those. I used to go to Star Cities pretty regularly. Um, way back in the pre 2010s and during the 2010s, a little bit early on. So please tell me how it is now, because I used to be able to kind of walk in for free, play side events, do whatever I wanted, talk to people, trade all day. What's the modern era like?
Yeah, so I've been to this will be with Vegas coming up. This will be my third MagicCon. I've been to a bunch of GPs before too. You're not walking in for free anymore. Sorry to tell you that, but I mean you got to buy a ticket to show up. You got to buy a ticket to play in any of the events they have. You've got to pre-register for all those events. But they do
Uh-huh.
have some awesome events that they do there. I am in love with Magicons, and so the main difference between the old like GPs and the new Magicons is it's like kind of like if the GP and like a Comic Con had a baby because you got all kinds of different like themed play areas, which is really cool. So this year in Vegas, they're gonna have Duskmorn, like they're gonna have probably like a haunted house like backdrop with a bunch of like tables and not like just like plastic tables and stuff, but like tables that really fit the theme of the room, where you can just go and free play. They have cosplayers walking around taking pictures. They have all kinds. They have like a whole section for content creators, so you can, if there's your favorite content creator, like myself, of course, if you want to go see them, and they do meet and greets at certain times. They have different community panels. They do a game nights live. So if you're into game nights, they play on stage live. That's pretty fun to watch. They're going to do preview panels. So like I mean, just a lot of like the best way I can describe it is just a comic book convention that is had a baby with the GP. So
Okay.
they've got a huge tournament. I think it's a 100K tournament that you can enter. They have World's Finals going on. They don't do World's Finals at every single one of them, obviously, but they do. The fall one is the World's Finals. So here in a couple weeks in Vegas, they'll be doing the World's Finals, and then like all the side events that you could ever possibly want, they'll have. So
Yeah, and so I do end up watching a lot of the content, video content that comes from those. So they usually have like people like Mark Rosewater and
mhm.
stuff like that, kind of doing little panels like Drive to Work and questionnaires, and they'll interview some of the behind the scenes. I'm really into that. Um, so what is something that you can talk about that, like I heard there's a prize wall. Is that a thing still
Yep.
anymore?
Yeah, they still have the prize wall.
Okay.
So they'd had those at GPs, right? They had the prize wall at GPs.
Not back when I was going, I don't
No,
think.
okay.
Maybe.
I feel like they did whenever I went, but maybe it was a different event. But yeah, they do have a prize wall. So each event that you enter awards certain amount of tickets based on wins. Some of them you get a certain amount of tickets just for signing up for the event and participating, because some of the events are really like crazy events. And then they have a prize wall. You can get the like oversized cards. You can get full sheets. You can get older sets. Last year in Vegas, I got the Eldrazi Precon from what set
Oh,
was it?
really?
Yeah,
MH2?
no, it was from Commander Masters. Yeah, the
Oh, okay,
Eldrazi
yeah.
one from Commander Masters. Because it's not something that I
Is that the Zuladoc deck?
yeah Zuladoc. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not something that I would have went out and bought for myself because it was $100 or whatever, and they had it on their prize wall. I had enough tickets, so yeah, I bought it. So they've
How do you
got like
accumulate tickets throughout the day? It's like every event you go to,
yeah, so
or
you have to sign up for the ticketed events, which is like say like so they do the unknown events with Gavin Verhey. He hosts the unknown events, and he puts together all the unknown cards and stuff like that. And so you pay. I think honestly, I don't remember how much it was, but you pay to enter the
okay.
event, right? And you get all the product, and then you get when you sit down against your opponent, they put the prize tickets in front of you and your opponent, and then whoever wins gets those prize tickets.
Oh,
And
I see.
sometimes it's a split. Like if you win, you get 300. If you lose, you get 100. So they do that for each round, and then so when you're done with the event, you just walk away with the prize tickets for that event.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. And then they have like Commander Open Play too, or are those events
Yeah,
themselves?
they have a ton of room for Commander. So they have I don't know like 50 tables set up just for Commander, and they have it
Ah,
sectioned off. In the past, I don't know what they're going to do now since they are coming up with this new system. But in the past, they've had like casual, competitive, super casual. So you could kind of
oh.
find
So
like
there's been a proto bracket system that was already been
yeah,
tested. Okay,
yeah.
interesting. Okay. All
So
right. And then so they have everything for there's events for every formats, right? So I assume there's standard, modern, legacy, pioneer, everything.
every format that you could think of,
Okay.
they have they usually have a ticketed event for. I didn't see 93-94 last year, but the first year we went to Vegas in 22, they did have my 93-94 tournament going on.
That's a pretty exclusive event, right?
Yeah,
You have to have cards from those. time,
Yeah.
so I could see why that wouldn't necessarily continue forever.
But it's a lot of fun events, like the unknown events. They're super casual, obviously, because you're breaking all the rules with all these playtest cards and all the like fake cards that they make up. And we do. My favorite one is it's Commanders and Cocktails with Brian David Marshall, and so they give you a full box of cards, and the packs are all like Commander based sets, like Commander Legends, Commander Masters. Adventure was it Boulder Gate was one of the Commander Master sets, and then they'll do like a couple unknown packs and a couple packs from the newest set. And
Okay.
so they give you all these packs, and you make your commander deck out of all those cards, and then it's a league. So you they say they have like 100 people in the event. You all weekend you have to play like 5 or 6 matches, and so it's everybody who's built these decks. They have special tables set aside, and you can go over there and you can find matches to play with the deck that you just made, and that goes on all weekend. And
Oh,
so then you get like a little like card, and they stamp your card after each match. And so when you fill up your card, or you take your card up, and they give you prize tickets according to how many of the matches that you played. So it's a
okay.
super. That's probably one of my favorite events there. That they've done the past 2 years, and I mean it's very super casual, and it's fun to. I like the limited format of Commander,
Yeah, it
and
sounds
so
great.
yeah, it's super fun.
Sounds spicy. Okay.
But it's all
So
kinds of
if
events like that.
so to go, it seems like it's available for everybody,
Hmm.
but you kind of in advance, you need to be ready to kind of program your weekend to an extent because you have to register for these events, right?
Yeah, and a lot
It's
of
not a show up, walk in the door, like get
so
nuts. It's like please no.
they do have on demand events
Oh,
where you can
okay.
just walk up. And but those are mainly your like a Duskmorn draft, or like a Duskmorn sealed event, or like a Bloomborough whatever. Those are not going to be like the crazy events. Like I think it was the first year they did like a Zendikar draft with
Oh.
so you get like two OGs Zendikar, two battle, and then two return to Zendikar.
Oh wow, the
So
original Zendikar.
it was a sealed event, yeah. And so
Okay.
like events like that where you could get this old product, those sold out really fast. And then like they have fun stuff like the Commanders and Cocktails, the one I'm in. Saturday night's already sold out. They have one that I'm doing. It's a two-headed giant, like spooky themed two-headed giant. So you get cards from Duskmorn, some of the Innistrad sets. So some of those like scarier themed sets. You get
Hmm.
packs for that, and then do a two-headed giant. And so I'm doing that
Oh,
with my fiance. So
that sounds like a
they
blast.
have team trios events. They have a grand melee event, and I think it was the first year we were there. I think it was 22. They had like 100 people, all in this like U shape of like a bunch of tables. They had like 100 people all playing in this grand melee event, and so it was I think it was Commander, and the way it worked is everybody took their turns at the same time. You could only attack the person to your left or right, and so you're trying to kill off the person on your left or right, and then so it just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, to finally you were down to the last person standing, and they won the whole thing. So just
Oh, I see.
yeah, it was like the biggest commander event or commander game that they've had.
Of all time.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
Probably all time. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that makes me think of my friends gone to Gen Con and they'd done an event similar to that. And Gen Con's also one of the big magic, non-magic magic cons,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Uh,
So Gen Con's
okay.
where they debuted Mystery Booster 2, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah. So that's freaking fantastic. And
Mhm.
you're gonna be there, right? You're gonna be there
Yeah, yeah.
all together ready. How early do
Yep.
you have to register for events? So it's been on the docket for a while. So how long to make sure you get yourself in the door, you get your ticket, you get signed up for the events you want? You
It
know,
just
what's the
depends
gate? Is
on.
it like is it a 1 day secret lair drop style
No,
situation where
no,
everyone's
no.
running in the door?
You normally have a month, probably a month or
Okay.
two, and like not all the events sell out. Just the real popular ones. Like the professor's doing an event where he's bringing out the old pre-release kits. So would they start pre-release kits in like Avacyn?
Return to Ravnica?
Was it?
Maybe Avacyn restored.
No, for sure they did have them in Avacyn restored.
That might have been the first one.
Yeah, because they did for New Phyrexia. They did those
Oh
the
yeah, because
packs.
they had the Mirren. Yeah, the
Yeah, they had
Mirren.
the
Yeah.
and so for yeah it was Innistrad actually. I think it was Innistrad. They started with the guild or the pre-release kits. So he's went to Wizards and said, "Hey, I want you to dig up all these pre-release kits from the past, and we're gonna do an event with those." And so I guess basically what it is you get a random pre-release kit from any time they've made pre-release kits, and you play 1v1, I think, tournament, and
That sounds
that's not
pretty
sold out
sweet.
yet. So yeah,
Wow,
so
but that's
yeah,
like such a unique experience, right?
yeah,
And yeah, you're
yeah.
right. I like that you could look at your wall behind you and just be like, yeah, it was. And I'm like, okay, it's mirrored and besieged. I see it on the wiki. Okay.
So
Oh,
mirror,
do you remember? Oh, do you remember the Hell Vault?
yeah,
That's on here too. Oh, that was
yeah.
so cool.
So was Mirrodin Besieged the first pre-release kit? Is that what I'm
That's what
hearing?
it's looking like to me. Yeah. Mirrored and
Because you
Besiege had facts and packs
faction
that urge
packs.
players
Yep,
to pick a side,
yep.
and with Mirren watermarks and Phyrexian watermarks.
Yeah.
Basic lands, foil. Yep.
So that was his event, and like I said, it's not sold out yet. So it just depends. Like I don't know, like the more popular events, you probably have a month or two to get registered for those, but because I think some of them just recently sold out, so it's not like super hard to get into the events that you want to, as long
But
as
again,
you
early
know
bird catches the worm, as it
exactly.
is.
Yeah, and
Okay.
from my experience, like doing one, maybe two events a day is way more than enough.
Okay.
So
So don't budget yourself for, 10 events. I mean,
I
Magic takes a long time to play. So.
yeah, if I this time we're doing one event on Friday. We're doing two on Saturday, but one is at the very beginning, and then the Commanders and Cocktails is 8 o'clock at night. So we've got quite a bit of a break in between the two events, but we will be there pretty late too. And then
Right.
Sunday we're only doing one event. So, but we
You
do.
have those jelly legs.
I have the Black Lotus package, and so it's like we get our own like lounge with all kinds of snacks, and we get all this extra cool merch. And they do events for us too. Like one of the events that we're able to do on Saturday is plane chase unknown. So
Oh,
the unknown cards where it's just basically like a card they made up and there's a sticker on the card. So
yeah.
it's the plane chase cards are all that, and then there's like
Oh,
a special like plane chase die that we get to play with that. And normally in the lounge there's people, Wizards employees, and sometimes there's content creators and stuff in there playing. And so we get that, and then there's another event where it's a progressive sealed. So they give us 6 packs of Duskmorn, I think, and maybe it's like I think it's maybe 3 set boosters, and then or 3 play boosters, 3 collectors boosters, and then each each time you play, you get another pack to add in, and so it's a progressive event where you can kind of change your deck throughout, and so that goes on all weekend. You can find matches in the Black Lotus Lounge and stuff. So
ooh,
yeah, so there's lots
that
of
sounds fantastic.
yeah. I mean, if you go, it's expensive. I think the Black Lotus was like $750 a person, but 100% is worth it to me, in my opinion. So
Well, as a Magic player, I mean, what you described to me is a great weekend to people who play my same hobby, and people pay more than that for a concert ticket now.
oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
up to
and you
you
get
to
a full
say what.
weekend. You get a
Yeah,
full week. Well,
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that doesn't include any of my ticketed events either. So
Right.
that's just to get me in the door. Seven hundred
Right.
fifty
I'm thinking
bucks
you're probably like a grand 1,500 for the weekend is my guess, probably, if I had to throw
for
a number on it.
events. For
For the total weekend,
for
not
me
including hoteling and stuff like that.
for me and my fiance,
Yeah.
um, I think so. Me and my fiance and my son went last year, and I think it was 3 grand
Woo.
for all our events and for our tickets.
Okay.
So yeah,
So 1,000 ahead. I mean,
yeah.
magic boxes are about 200 bucks a pop. So I mean, we're definitely in a demographic that's, if you're buying booster boxes, collector boxes, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's
It,
actually sounds like pretty cheap to me for a whole
I
weekend.
mean,
You get a
you
lot of
can.
product.
I think it's you can get a pass for like 60 bucks a day if you just want to go for one
Okay.
day, and so I mean that's there's a wide range of
Okay.
prices there, so it's not out of anybody's reach. Really, it's.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to go, like kids, I think they have kids passes that are free. So if you want to,
Oh,
like a certain age, and they have an event. They have like a family area too, so you can make like they have like decorate your own deck box. You can make like friendship bracelets, and then they have an event for kids, and so no adults are allowed to enter the event unless you have a kid
yeah.
with you, or like your ticket is attached to a kid's ticket. So they do an event just for kids. So yeah, I mean, it's for everybody really.
I'm happy to hear that they're doing something like that for kids because, with my experience locally, your home card shop is so much less
Yeah.
than it used to be. So I'm just like, I really want that. I grew up going to game stores. Like, I think since I was 12, I mean, I was going to Toys R Us to play Pokemon, in 1997 and didn't know what I was doing, just on the floor of a toy store. And then next time, like, 12 playing in a store down the street that has collectibles. It might as well have been knockoff finished stock. And then I finally found my local game store. That's where I just spent hours and hours of my teenage years not doing things that were bad and just, meeting people and, stuff like that. So pretty cool to hear that um, we're fostering that experience somewhere. I want to see more of that. I don't like that the demographic shifting so high up. That was the dynamic environment that I grew up in. I had older people, younger people all
Hmm.
mixed up. Seeing how they all bounce off each other. It's really,
Yeah,
I think,
and
healthy.
I've always brought my kids. I have 3 sons, and I've always brought them to events. All my
Yeah.
kids, and like it's it. They can develop a lot of skills through magic. Critical thinking, reading, addition, math, and then you have the interacting with adults or older people.
A little
That's
psychology
a
there. Yeah.
skill in itself. So.
Yeah, I remember I took big pride in defeating lawyers and doctors at a card game that I knew how to play when I was a teenager.
I took pride in
I'm not
defeating
so
little
disciplined
kids. So
though. Oh.
I'm just kidding. Only if they were my sons.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you little butthole, not today.
No, I got my ass kicked by some kids before, so
Oh yeah, same here. It happens. Sometimes
yeah.
they got you. They
Yep.
got your number, and you're like,
Yeah.
all right, today's the day.
I love it
It's like,
though.
oh yeah, no, it's good. It's good. You need that humility in your life. You're like, oh, yep. It's like, yep,
Yeah.
that happened. Oh, cool. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to hear. I can't wait to get your experience. You're gonna be putting out so much content, I imagine, from there, just like
Yeah,
tripping up your day and stuff.
it's gonna be a
It'll
lot.
probably all come out after, but you'll make it
Yeah.
happen. I'm excited to see all the things, hear all the lives. Don't they always showcase some new product and new announcements too most of the time?
Yeah, they're
Like, will they be
so
like announcing stuff?
they'll have a preview panel. So we'll probably see they'll probably, show what all sets are coming out next year. I mean, we know most of them,
Cartier,
but they'll
Lorwyn, Final
Final Fantasy,
Fantasy,
yeah. So
Marvel,
they'll have a preview panel and
other stuff.
talk about all the stuff that's coming out next year. Like probably give us not exact release dates, but probably Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. This stuff will be coming out. So I do expect some preview cards. They'll probably talk about foundations a lot. Maybe we'll
Oh
get
yeah,
some.
that's right around the corner, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe we get some early product there. Hopefully, get some maybe some of those Marvel promos that got leaked. Maybe we'll see some of those at MagicCon. But yeah,
I'm really interested in seeing foundations. Just this is like the shape of Magic in the current era. It's really like our Magic 2010 reset, I feel like.
yeah,
Post pandemic, like we just had a big shakeup in some parts of the Magic, and it's just like here's us making the synthesis of what we think Magic is today. And it's interesting. Like even just those few spoilers they showed us, new art for the Border of Away enchantments look,
hmm
that cat card that's super flavorful. So we're sticking to flavor, but even though we're sticking to flavor, it doesn't mean the card's design can't be kind of confusing. That cat that keeps not dying. It's worded kind of weirdly, but simple enough.
they tried to give it nine
So
lives. You know,
yeah. That's the running joke for the cat. I like it. I like it. So cool. But yeah, so I'm happy to have gotten a bit of a look into where we're going with Magic today.
yeah, you're gonna hear a
And
lot from me when I get back from MagicCon.
yep, I'm
So
sure I'm going to have every detail, every event. It's going to be a epic time.
I hope
And then we just
I really hope we get some Lorwyn previews because I'm really looking forward to that set, and I think you wanted to talk about that set today too, right?
yeah, so yes, I do. Me and Josh have been playing Magic for a long time, and two of our most favorite times and the time around where we met was when Lorwyn was out. We had the same LGS and we would play all sorts of formats. And we kind of wanted to run a little bit along memory lane, kind of hitting up some of our favorites, some memories, some little anecdotes. And I got my gather up here. So Lorwyn
I'm
for
gonna pull
me,
my
yeah,
binder off the shelf here.
yeah, please do.
My
Let's see some
my
cool
Lorwyn
things.
binder. I don't have a cover on it yet, but so this is, I collect full sets, so I've got my player's guide here. You know what they used to put in all the fat packs when they were called fat packs,
Yeah,
and
that's the
then
Ren's Run Packmaster on the front,
you,
right?
it is, yeah. And then you remember these.
Yes. Tournament pack list, is that
So
it? Set list?
this is a deck checklist for like a block constructed or a set constructed. Well, it was block constructed back
That's it.
then, and so I use these for checklist for the cards. So
Yeah.
I have those for each set, and then yeah, I got all my cards in set order. Got the pre-release card here and my advertisement for the set. So that's how I have all my sets organized by collector number. So I'm gonna look through this binder as you look through Scryfall or Gather or whatever you.
Yeah. So Lorwyn was awesome for me. I played around Scourge time in Standard, had a quick dip off in Ravnica because I couldn't afford $20 dual lands back in the day. Beyond the first four I had. I was just a young teenager, had a little break, some LGS change up, played a little bit during Time Spiral, and then Ravnica came out. Um, or sorry, not Ravnica. Bleh. Lorwyn came out, and Lorwyn was really cool. I remember seeing the was it the Stalwart? What is his name?
Mm-hmm.
The Stalwart Kithkin, and I was like, that's such cool. Oh, Gold Medal Stalwart. That was the 2/2 for 1 mana. I was definitely a beatdown player back in the day. Played a lot of Curd Ape and Legacy, a lot of Goblin Lackey, and that bad boy, I was like, here we go. We're gonna kick some butt in Standard. And that set, I didn't realize was gonna kind of herald in a lot of really fun strategies. Fairies kind of has the title for that time, but
Yeah.
even though back then we had a lot of eras where we were focused in on one deck, we had fairies, we had Jund, the meta games around those decks were actually pretty interesting. You'd go to F&M and you'd see a different deck about everyone you sat down against. You'd have, someone playing Kithkin, someone playing Black Green Elves,
Tree
someone
Folk
playing
was
something off
mine.
the wall,
I love Tree
Tree
Folk.
Folk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Were
when
you playing
I
Doran?
Doran was my first EDH deck. Yeah, and the Lorwyn introduced I mean, there were tree folk before, but you really got that tree folk tribal from Lorwyn, and they become one of my favorite tribes.
Yeah, and they've gotten some really good support in recent years,
Hmm.
thanks to Lord of the Rings. Fang was his name,
Yeah.
Fanghorn and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just looking at some of these cards. I played against a lot of Brian Stoudarn in Commander, some Sig River Guide, the old default Goblin Commander, Wart Bogart Auntie,
Hmm.
the old 5-color staple commander, Horde of Notions. Who could believe I'll just
I
smack
forgot
you to
about
death
that
with my
card.
5-color commander? Just like boom, hit you for 5. One of my first commander decks when I was trying to win commander because I really did not understand the scope of the game when it was a 40 life and 4 players. I was like, all my cards say draw 2 cards and then removal spells, and I'm going to play my commander and bash you for 5 until you are dead. That was one of my try hardier moments when I was in my youth trying to win commander. Took me a long time to get a grasp on that, but it was a fun time. Vigor, still a staple casual card for years, gotten better now, ever since Blasphemous Act. But, actually, a fun fact about Vigor. Um, Back in the day, a good friend of ours, Judd, he always thought that Vigor looked like a man's face, like it was a helmet and then a mustache.
It
And then
does
it's
look
like,
like
wait, it's
that.
an ox. It's an ox with a turtle shell. So if you didn't look very close, you could
Oh,
kind of see that. Yeah.
okay,
So
yeah. Wow, I
very funny thing.
literally just now got that.
Oh, you
Because
didn't know it was an ox?
yeah, no, see, it's got the black things. I'm going to hold it up to the camera. Hopefully you can see it.
Yep.
So, all right, let's focus. Yeah, so the black things there looks like slits for its eyes, and then the mustache horns, and then yeah, the helmet it's wearing. And so yeah, I never really looked that closely at the art, but I can totally see. I mean, I'm with Judd, man. That's what I
Yeah.
really
It looks like a guy's face.
until just
We need
now.
an artist to re-render it and be like, look, it's a guy's face. It's not an ox. It's not an ox turtle.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
it's
there's
an
cards that I
elemental
still
incarnation. It's not anything.
yeah, it doesn't tell you it's anything, right? It's your imagination run wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and I just wanted to mention some other cards. This time, back in this time, they've started doing these again, but I remember Mutavault and Doran both had very beautiful promo cards, Champion States promos,
Oh yeah.
full art Mutavault, and then you had the Doran that was
Yeah,
the
the
same.
Doran. Yeah.
And they're both exceedingly expensive
The Doran's
cards.
what? It's a
Oh,
couple $100, right?
yep, 167 according to what Scryfall's telling me. I
Yeah.
think the Mutavault's even more. But yeah, beautiful cards, a style I love. I have the Niv Mizzet that I was thankfully given by a friend of mine. We traded, but we saw it at a Magic convention, and I was like, man, I really want that because I had a Niv Mizzet, the Fire Mind, commander deck. No infinite combos, not that guy. Um, but yeah, I had that deck, and I was like, I really want this. And then he went up and bought it, and he was like, hey, let me see your trades. He didn't tell me what it was. He didn't tell me he'd bought it. He goes up, let me see your trade stuff. Looks through my trade stuff, gets about $50 worth of cards. And he's like, here you go. And I go, oh my God, yes. It was pretty sweet. I was like, oh man, I didn't think I'd ever had that rare card. I'm sure I have it here somewhere.
You remember
Yeah,
Gaddock
pretty
Teague?
cool.
He was played in a ton of what was it modern decks? Well, I mean, it wasn't modern then; it
Yeah,
was extended or whatever. I know he was played
yeah.
for. He was
He
like
was like a $40 card for a
yeah.
while back in the day. He was locking down. Here's that Niv Mizzet I was talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can see that at all? Yeah, super cool. Full art, love it. Um, but yeah, no, that Gaddock Teeg was played a ton. That was like the big hate card in sideboards and modern. I don't
Yeah.
remember what it was fighting exactly, but maybe it was
Non-creature
I don't remember.
spells with converted mana cost 4 or greater can't be played. Non-creature
Yeah,
spells with X in their mana cost can't be played.
but yeah, so we just want to go through Lorwyn. Back in the day, fairies was a menace around the tournament scene, but when you came to F&M, you would just run some Cloud Threshers or some Raking Canopies, and you would crush some of the lesser experienced Fairies players underfoot when they tap down for their Scion of Una, and you were just like Cloud Thresher evoke for 2, and you just all dead. And those players were always like, "Is Fairies the best deck?" And just the
Well,
differences between F&M and a tournament scene are just so different that
that was before they
you know
printed Bitter Blossom.
that too. It was right before then.
Because Bitter Blossom did come out to Morningtide, so
I was still able to jam on him with that. I was still able to get by. And I remember Chameleon Colossus. Or I guess I'm all the block. I'm in the block. That's why I'm seeing those cards. Yeah, Lorwyn itself didn't quite have some of those spicy Morningtide cards. Let me put in Lorwyn. Skipping around. There we go. Oh, and the Lorwyn 5. So that was right when Planeswalker
yep.
started.
I was going to bring that
And
up. Yeah.
one of my favorite things to do was, I think one of my first decks back then played I think this was by the time the whole set was out and Shards of Alara was out, but you'd play Fertile Ground, which is a 3-1 enchant land that says when the land's tapped, you add a mana of any color. And you'd play that on turn 2, untap, play Garruk Wildspeaker, untap 2 lands, you get 3 mana back, then play something else. You're ready to overrun
I'm
the
pretty
next
sure.
turn.
I'm pretty sure you played that deck against me
Yeah.
at
Oh
F&M.
my
I'm
god.
pretty sure that I remember that line of play.
Yep. And then you're like, boom, Broodmate Dragon. But that's in the future. That's before that's before times. And I remember my buddies playing Rensworn Vanquisher alongside Thoughtseize, things
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah,
Just
Elves
so
was
many
pretty
beautiful
big.
cards.
Elves was pretty big
Yeah,
because you
that
had
was
it,
like the
the Imperious
it was the
Perfect.
hero deck.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Because
like that was the hero against the villain.
was Llanowar Elves? I know there was a Llanowar Elves. I think that was probably in Standard at the same time because that was in 10th edition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 10th, I think they were in standard for a while. It was that
Mm-hmm.
they had Elvish Champion,
Yep.
Rensworn Vanquisher, Nameless Inversion, um, things like that. And that was kind of what made the shell. Oh, and then we can never forget the infamous Cryptic Command. Oh
Well, I
my
mean, all
goodness.
the commands, really, right? I play I,
Well,
I play all those commands. I play Primal Command in my green decks. I play Austere in my white.
austere, yeah.
Um, I don't play Profane as much, but for sure Primal Command, man,
Yeah.
that's a good card for 5 mana.
It was a powerful cycle. I think Incendiary was the soft one.
Yeah,
At the time, it saw a little bit of play. People played on the fringe, but it was a little too little damage and a little too much mana.
yeah,
Like you just
for
couldn't
sure
keep up with the
the green
horde.
and white. In addition to Cryptic, I think I still play those. I don't play a lot of
I mean,
blue,
it wasn't
so
until just a couple years ago that we got Farewell was Austere Command even a
hmm
second to any wrath,
yeah,
really. And then, Primal Command's still good. I mean, searching your deck for a card, shuffle, hidden a graveyard, popping a permanent, back to the top, time walking somebody. Profane, that reminds me of a very iconic phrase from an old Magic Pro back in the day. He had Chameleon Colossus in play. He cast Profane Command, but he knows his opponent will lose if he gets hit. So he goes, Profane Command, you lose life. All my legal targets gain fear. So Chameleon Colossus is plural black, so he can't be a legal target. Swings in, opponent's like, cool, I'm dead. Even though they could have blocked the Chameleon Colossus.
oh,
Infamous play. Um, oh, Sunrise Sovereign. Oh my gosh. So I played Calemny in 2014, 15 when the enemy color commander decks with experience came out because everyone said it was crappy.
yeah.
And I murdered a lot of people with Sunrise Sovereign. Giving my commander +3/+3 and trample was really hot. Also, in that pre-release, I remember when we used to play at that army barracks. Do you remember back then?
Yep, yeah.
It was like an army barracks.
Because
I had,
they had the Shards of Alara pre-release there. Yeah,
yep, favorite set of all time. Um, They I remember having 2 Sunrise Sovereigns and some Mole Drifters in my deck in my pre-release deck. It was so bizarre.
that's what
It
I
was
was just gonna
just
bring up. The vote guys, the Mole Drifter, and then you had the black one.
Freak
What was
Maw.
it? Streak Maw. Yeah, yeah. Those evoke
Yeah,
creatures were really
Ingature.
good.
Been playing them for years, And the Lorwyn 5, that Chandra. I've been playing the Chandra a little bit lately in some of my budget online Magic Online decks. Card
Hell
still
yeah.
puts in work. You kill a thing and then they gotta kill it. I mean, it doesn't do anything otherwise, but it's a little scary. People still try to kill it.
Nameless
So
Inversion. That was a good kill spell.
Yeah.
Played
Do you
that a
remember
lot.
the hack on thing with it?
Huh? Well,
There's a cold snap guy. He's a creature from cold snap,
oh,
which first
hack
and
on the.
standard.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Okay,
Yeah, you
I don't
can't
know the
cast him. You
combo
got to go
though.
in the graveyard. So he lets you cast knights from your graveyard. A nameless conversion
Oh,
is
is
any
it?
type.
Yeah.
You get them in your graveyard, you play Hakan, and then you like +3, +3, +3, +0, +3, plus -3 on your guys and
Yeah.
kill their whole board. So that was a fun little combo. Yeah, and Baby Jace. And what's so
Yeah.
funny is Baby Jace came out here and no one cared. Everyone was like, that card sucks. Until Sun Titan. Doo, doo, doo. It was everywhere. O-Ring, heralding a huge wave of design for years to
Oh man,
come.
I forgot about Oblivion Ring. Yeah.
Yeah. That was like the origin of that style of gameplay, and we had
Yeah.
like every version of that effect. And I remember back then people talking about, well, what happens when you have three O-rings in play and nothing else? It's like, what do you mean? It's a draw. The game's over. It can't go anywhere. I saw it happen on Magic Online, I think on an LSB limited stream once or twice. Pretty cool.
I love that.
Yeah, it was
I
such
love that
a
art for Oblivion Ring from Lorwyn.
yeah. Do you read the flavor text? It's like
A
a ring of
circle,
salt or something.
a circle of sugar, and a word of forbiddance.
Ah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. So many iconic cards. Right there next to it, Pestermite. People have played against a lot of Pestermite in Magic the Gathering history. Just years and years. Thousand Year Elixir, a casual staple I had in a lot of decks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Forge Tender.
Oh, Burrington Forge Tender. Okay, so that
Yeah.
was like the sickest hate card for red ever. Like, you can't attack through it. You can't block me. The next burn spell's dead.
Yeah.
Your sweeper is also dead. Yeah, when you were playing Kithkin, this was like your ace against red decks.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
the card
Cloud Goat
was
Ranger.
serious.
Cloud
Oh,
Goat Ranger, yeah, where you get to make
yeah, I missed
the
that card.
1/1 tokens.
That
Yeah.
card was like army in a can. It was like the white Siege Gang commander, and it was
Yeah.
so powerful.
Oh
Yeah,
man, some
Kithkin
good
was
cards. Good
impressive.
cards.
Yeah, love this set. Love this set. Guile, doing some fun things with Commander. Dread for
Oh, Guile. I
years.
forgot about Guile, yeah.
Yep. Oh, and Hamlet back Goliath. I've gotten so many +1 counters on that creature. 6/6 for 7. Whenever another creature enters, put +1 counters on equal to its power. So you'd play it, and that thing was easily a 26/26 every time you untapped. Just humongous.
I hope
Epically sized.
this makes me really look forward to next year for the Lorwyn sets. I really hope um it's kind of early in the year. It's one of the before summer releases.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hyped to talk about some new Lorwyn cards. We've even gotten some previews, like Ashling got a new card, and what was it, Commander Legends, or was it
Oh
MH3?
yeah.
MH3. We got a new Ashling version, so she's got some more heat.
Was that the
You
first
know,
was Ponder the first was that the first printing of Ponder in
yes, it
Lorwyn?
was.
Yeah.
There's two 1 mana spells in Lorwyn that, or three 1 mana spells in Lorwyn that are just unparalleled.
Yeah.
You have Ponder, Thoughtseize, and Springleaf Drum. Three 1 mana cards that have not gotten enough play, apparently.
Hey, you're forgetting about Treefolk Harbinger.
Oh, true. I am forgetting about good old Treefolk Harbinger. S tier.
Yeah, so I'm
Also,
really go ahead.
also note Nightshade Stinger, classic in all those ninja decks for a long time. I think it's probably been edged out by now, but that used to be in all the ninja decks in Commander.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Lorwyn set for next year.
But yeah, that
Definitely one of my favorite blocks because I mean Lorwyn I really love, but you got Morning Tide. Shadowmoor is one of my sets that's up there of my favorite of all time, and then Eventide, like that. Those four sets are, I mean, that they all fit in my top 10 sets of all time, and a couple of them are in my top 5 of all time.
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing Shadowmoor. I'm curious if we're doing day night. I kind of talked about that earlier today. If day night might be a thing.
It could be,
Uh
yeah, but so isn't the lore with Lorwyn and Shadowmoor is it's like a period of time where it's light and a period of time where it's shadow. It's not like a long period of time. It's not,
That's what it was.
okay.
But at the end of the story, they break the cycle. So now it's day and night.
Oh, okay.
So Shadowmoor is nighttime, Lorwyn is morning. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
really is supposed to be like that. If you go look at like one of the, I don't know if they might change things, obviously, but it was one of the Nissa's Magic Origin stories where she like goes to, um, she planeswalks to Lorwyn is her first planeswalk or whatever, and then she's like there and like the elves are like hunting the goblins and she's like horrified or something, and then day turns to night and everything's like scary and she like
Uh-huh.
planeswalks away. So
Oh,
in
okay.
that setting she's there, and it's not during the Great Aurora because it's a different time period, I
Yeah.
believe. So
Okay.
it would be interesting to see if they keep that or if they like completely do something new. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if this is Lorwyn without Shadowmoor. I don't know if this is like fixing Lorwyn. I have no idea. I'm just
Right.
excited. There's so many cards, so many potentials, new commands, new demigods, new
Yeah.
ways to interpret the elves and
I hope
stuff.
it's basically like a Lorwyn remastered or whatever. Where
Yeah.
we get all this stuff like the commands and I mean, I did see something on somebody asked Mark Rosewater a question about more planeswalkers and sets, and he said we are looking into it. It's something we're
Yeah, we might
considering.
get the
So
Lorwyn 5 again. All
I
those characters are alive, right?
yeah,
Liliana's alive, Chandra's alive, Garrick's alive.
I
Garrick's
think
also not evil now.
Johnny's dead though, right? Didn't he die or he got completed and got killed?
I think he was completed and then undone,
Oh,
uneviled,
maybe I
I
don't
think
know.
is what happened. Apparently the end of that whole setting was everyone who turned Phyrexian got Phyrexians, which was kind of
With the
underwhelming.
Halo from Streets of New
Yes.
Capenna, yeah.
Yeah. So they got de-eviled, so he's just like, ew, I feel gross, I guess. I don't know. That was a weird bug. I don't know how you turn into a robot and de-turn into a robot, but it's magic.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, hopefully we'll get not the exact, but we'll get some updates. Get a new Lily Allen, a new Jace, a new Johnny, new Chandra, a new Garrick. I mean, Garrick's dead
Oh,
though.
maybe
Garrick is
Garrick
dead.
is dead.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I mean,
okay, I didn't know
maybe
that.
Liliana can bring him back to life or something. So
Maybe it is five. It is an opportunity to do five new walkers.
I'm looking forward to Lorwyn next year, and looking forward. Hopefully, we get some spoilers or at least some dates for a MagicCon. So the Lorwyn, like I said, Lorwyn, Shadowmoor, Morningtide, Eventide, four of my top 10 sets of all time. So I'm really pumped for this. And what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next year in Magic. I'm ready for you to come back from the convention to tell us all about the cool things for the next year and to
Yeah,
keep talking about it. I just can't get more excited about it at all.
yeah, it's gonna be a fun time in Vegas, and definitely I'm gonna try to hit all three next year. Hopefully, get invited as a creator to go to some of them. So yeah, Magic Cons are my jam. That's I love it. That's what if you look at my last YouTube video or one of my YouTube videos, I quit Magic for a while, and Magic Cons are what got me back into it. So I love Magic Cons, and yeah, looking forward to it. So that's I think going to wrap up today's podcast, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Happy to speak to y'all. Give them the
So
sign off.
I'll give this sign off. Don't forget to like, shower, and subscribe. And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.